Heads up everyone, we've got ourselves an all-pro 2v2. This cool matchup comes to us virtue of TSL 5 and a special side event. Each of our two teams is going to have one Protoss and one Terran. And we can already see that our team to the north is looking to seal off their mutual wide ramp, dropping that initial depot and pylon. And to the south, our team is going to mirror that exact same action. For Team North, our Protoss player is Liquid Mana! He's got one heck of a good Terran partner, none other than Team Liquid's Clem! I'm going to call them Team North based on their shared starting location. They're not going to waste any time walling off with a gateway and a barracks. Team South is mirroring that tactic. Team South's Terran player is also from Team Liquid. He's the ever-deadly uThermal! His Protoss partner is the #1 player from Croatia, Goblin! All four of our players are making sure to grab their second gas. And the very first scout is going to be an SCV by uThermal. Looks like Team South is going to be the first to try to get some intel. Those warp gates are finishing up, so we're either going to see some expansions or we're going to see some cores. Oh, Mana's gone for a second warp gate. And a cyber core now. And Goblin on Team South, the cyber core. Oh, the worker scouts are going to sneer at each other in the upper third of the map. Another point of differentiation, Clem's going for a reactor on his racks. Thermal's going straight to a Reaper. Mana's probe looks to be checking for proxies. I guess he knows he's playing against uThermal. No, I'm wrong. He looks to be setting one of his own. A suspicious pylon goes down on the east side of the map. Meanwhile, Clem's factory is halfway to completion. So is uThermal's. But that Reaper's about to pop. That's actually going to be the first and only military unit in the game so far. But with a big map like Roscallion, there's still time for Team North to set its defense. Oh, there's Team North's proxied gateway. That puts Mana at 3 gates already, by the way. Both our Protoss players have started warp gate research. It's starting to look like uThermal's Reaper's going to get a free walk right inside. Clem's reactoring a pair of Marines, but they're a long ways away. Even if this Reaper can't get any damage done, he's going to get an excellent scout. Mana does have a couple stalkers coming out, but the Reaper's going to try to swing right behind the production facilities. He sees everything. Oh! Clem executes a depot block. I haven't seen that in ages. The Reaper is trapped and gunned down. For a second, it looked like he was going to get away with that grenade. But no. Oh, Goblin's finished his Stargate, and he's already started a Phoenix. uThermal's building a second command center. His partner Goblin started an expansion nexus on the low ground. To the north, Clem's finished his starport, and he's got a Cyclone coming out of that Tech Lab factory. Oh, Team South found the proxy. Mana's stalkers are just a little bit too late to stop him. Oh, but he might get the kill anyway. Oh yeah. Team South expansion is the first to complete. They saw the proxy, so they're adding defense. And they have called this correctly, because Team North is on their way. Mana's bringing the stalkers, Clem's bringing the Cyclone Marine. The bunker is going to finish though, and uThermal does have the units to fill it. Team North needs this. They've only just started their expansion. But if they can take out Goblin's expansion, they will vault ahead in the economic game. But Team South has no intention of making that easy. uThermal's bringing tanks. But Mana's wielding 8 stalkers. Can he wield them correctly? A splash of tank fire forces him back. But then he finds an angle the tank can't reach. Mana going to work on the Nexus shields. uThermal's going to try to reposition his tank. Mana sees it and pulls back. The Cyclone's doing an absolutely fantastic job of forcing the Phoenix back. But they cannot get at the Nexus. Team South just keeps mining and even adds a gas. Team North attacks. They feel the pressure of their commitment. Mana focuses down the tank. But Goblin's Stalker kills the tank that Clem brought up. The Phoenix Links are lowering the Stalker count. And the bunker is doing its job. As soon as I say that, it goes down. But there's not much left of Team North. With the defender's advantage, uThermal's bringing up 2 more tanks. And Team North knows their offensive has failed. Maybe somebody should tell Clem's Marines. It looks like they decided to make a mess of the floor instead. And now uThermal's gonna float over a second command center. For now, it looks like Team South is gonna keep the economic pressure on. He's also started a Liberator, by the way. Goblin's now adding Immortals to his non-stop Phoenix production. Team North does have their own Nexus up now. And Clem's gonna further try to catch up by building his CC Direct. He's got a starport now, and he's also building tanks. But for now, it's Goblin who rules the skies. Maybe this is my moment to finally get the rankings out. Clem's at the top, ranked number 9 in the world. His partner Mana's at number 33. uThermal's recently climbed all the way to number 22. Goblin is the outlier at 66. But you'd never know it from the way his Phoenix are keeping Team North on their heels. Just a single SCV so far, but he's definitely keeping them occupied. Twilight Council finishes for Mana. He immediately starts the Zealot leg upgrade. But while Team North is teching, it looks like Team South is putting together a push. Tanks and Immortals side by side. There's something just not right about that. Oh, their target is Mana's proxy. They're not going for North's expansions, at least not yet. Team North's not going to make any effort to defend. It's just one gate, they can afford to sack it. Pylon explodes and the gateway unpowers. Clem is researching Mag Field Accelerator. That's going to double the lockdown damage against armored targets. Unfortunately, those pesky Phoenix are light, not armored. But it'll be good against enemy stalkers and tanks. Clem's going to move his starport over to his reactor. I think he's going to try to crank out more Vikings. He'll be needing them, because Goblin's just added a second Stargate. The good news for Team North is they've managed to scrap their way back into an economic lead. They're pulling a higher amount of minerals per minute. If they can stretch this out, they can get back in this. As you can see though, uThermal on Team South is powering pretty hard, and his tank count's getting pretty high. uThermal is gonna be a beast. Oh, Mana's adding Archons now. Thank you, Battle Duck. So it'll be Zealot Archon versus Double Stargate. While the Terrans will both be going Marine Mech. But it's uThermal who started Stim in +1. Oh, Goblin catches Mana's probe looking to expand. That's a snipe you want to get. And uThermal's adding another command center. We've hit that phase of the game where everybody starts to get really big. Goblin's trying to add +1 for his Phoenix. I'm trying to keep an eye on Thermy's Liberator. He hasn't attacked with it yet. He tried to poke in on the left side but got zoned out. It certainly hasn't paid for itself, but the thing with Liberators is you usually find a use for them. uThermal drops a scan to help keep tabs on Clem. It looks like they're trying to find an opening for Harass, but the Cyclones and Stalkers are well arrayed. Oh, it's actually going to be Team North that's going to be first to take a 5th base. Mana's dropped the Nexus, which is actually going to be uThermal CC. Ugh. It takes Stalkers 18 shots to drop a Phoenix at full. Those things are far more tanky than they look. Speaking of looking, it looks like Team South is pushing out. They drop a 5th to catch up, and they may now be looking to see if they can do some damage to get ahead. 2 Immortals lead the tank parade. And there's a little sentry in front acting as the drum major. He just needs a little baton to twirl. Mana's base does not yet have any significant defense. Oh, but who cares? That's not the target. Team South is looking to get position over Clem's expansion. I believe the technical term for this stratagem is Cliff and Clem. The Phoenixes are going to give sight, and the tanks are going to devastate the expansion. Clem with a great SCV build. But how are they going to extricate that nest of tanks? It's guarded by Immortals, and Goblin rules the sky. The Cyclones can deal with Phoenixes, but not when they pull back to the safety of the tanks. Mana's going to try to brute force it with his Zealot Archon. Clem's got his back, but they're going to need to do this together. If they go one at a time, they're going to get slaughtered. Form up, form up. uThermal drops a scan to maximize his tank range. Team North charges in. They're bringing Templar with Storm Research. Oh, but Goblin dives in and lifts up all the Templar. He's lifted up the tanks too. Not a single storm goes down. Team North's ground army's getting pummeled. The offensive never reaches the tanks, while Clem's tanks hover helplessly. Now they're just getting picked off. It's GG! Oh, that was abrupt. Goblin and Mana hit him so hard I think they accidentally fell on their G keys. I don't know if they were actually that far behind in the game, but that was really decisive. Okay, just 3 thoughts to leave you with here. First things first, we gotta address the issue of the Phoenix. You've probably heard in the 2v2 meta, Phoenix are pretty darn good. As a starting position, just going for Stargate alone puts Goblin ahead of Mana, and Team South over Team North. I seriously doubt Team North was blind to this. They had a game plan and they loaded up with Stalkers and Cyclones. 2 ground units which attack upwards and can potentially counter Phoenix. But as we saw, neither of them have bonus damage versus light, and while a Phoenix may look flimsy, it has 150 hit points when you include the 60 points of recharging shields. A Stalker has to hit it over a dozen times, and the Cyclone needs to connect with 9 shots, which gives the Phoenix plenty of time to fly out of the Cyclone's range, given their very high speed. In 1v1 games, Phoenix are normally countered by static defense, and interestingly, as some would argue, also countered by rapid expansion. But neither of those options are great when you're simultaneously facing Marine Tank from a Terran opponent. Now, you can always go Phoenix right back at him. We see that a lot. But then the fight often comes down to who cranks out the most Phoenix the fastest, and it makes for a much less entertaining show match. The air battle tends to determine the entire game early on. I'm not looking to even the playing field here. I'm looking to counter. So what can I counter with? Well, we know from 1v1 games that Phoenix aren't great against capital ships. So that strikes me as a theoretical option here. But this is a 2v2. Is a battle cruiser carrier rush actually practical at the pro level? I've never seen it tried. That's kind of an experiment that has to be run before you can rule it out. Clearly I'm more brainstorming than giving actual advice. Number 2. Next, I need to highlight that sweet depot block by Clem's SCV at the start of the game. I'm not sure why, maybe because of the maps in the 1v1 pool, but that old move is so rare right now. Clem seals off the area behind his mineral line, and suddenly the once mobile Reaper is pinned in a thin corridor, with the way he came in now blocked by Marines. It's such a great piece of real-time SimCity. Equally great was how uThermal tried to get out. His grenade was perfect. He scatters the Marines and makes for a breakaway escape. I almost want to award him a micro moment for that too, but since it didn't actually work and the Reaper died, I don't think I'm permitted here. So instead, I'm going to give it solely to Clem, and I hereby certify that awesome depot play as an official micro moment. Third and lastly, a few of you have joined me on my epic journey as I delve into the secret origins of the Battle Duck. I think it's important that we understand just why does this ancient race secretly worship waterfowl? And what is the link behind quacking birds and the psionic powers of iron? Well, my research team recently uncovered something new, and I have something of an update on this front. Well, maybe it's not new to you, but it was a revelation that I only just discovered. Did you know that Battle Duck actually appears twice in the Protoss Nexus? Check this out, look at it carefully. This blew my mind. What's Battle Duck doing there? And does Battle Duck have a twin with horns? Does Battle Duck power overcharge? And the former Nexus cannon? Are 2 Battle Ducks the necessary component to create a mothership or chrono boost? And if there are 2 Battle Ducks, just how many were there in the early days of Iron? Also, if there are 2 Templar archives in every Nexus already, why do you have to make a new one to get Archons and Research Storm? These are the questions that haunt me, but rest assured, I will get you answers, or at least some very nerdy questions. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang StarCraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.